What happens when you combine 3 decades of culinary expertise, a strong commitment to sustainability, and a passion for Mexico's rich traditions? Meet Lula and Nicolás Martín del Campo, the sibling duo who have significantly influenced the Mexico culinary scene for over 30 years. Each of their 3 restaurants, Cascabel, Barra, Lado, and Marea, tells a story about Mexico and its heritage, showcasing the blend of races and cultures that shape modern Mexico. Lula, who was recently awarded Best Chef of the Year, is celebrated for her innovative cuisine and her dedication to closely collaborating with local producers, while also promoting fair trade and responsible sourcing. Together, they advocate for a kitchen where every ingredient tells a story of community, respect for the environment, and a vision for a more sustainable future. Get ready to explore the heart, soul, and flavors of modern Mexico through the talents of 2 of its brightest culinary stars. Thanks very much for being with us in Mexico News Daily. We're very happy to have you with us.
Thank you.
And thank you for receiving us in Barra de Lado. First of all, thanks. I want to say that we are very privileged to have this conversation with you because you've been promoting Mexican cuisine, but not only promoting, you've been protecting Mexican cuisine.
Yes.
But this is a very different project.
Yes.
Right? This is a mix of 2 cuisines, actually.
I would say it's like a resume. It's like the composition of all the years that we've been working together in different projects. Mexico, international. We've had Asian restaurants, one. Italian. Most of them have been Mexican. And basically lately, and the last ones have been Mexican. Lula has been one of the main Mexican
promoters,
female chefs that have been promoting and also protecting Mexican ingredients and Mexican cuisine.
Yes, that's right.
And this is more like about...
Yes, actually everything comes because, as Nicolás, my brother, said, that I am a protector of our identity. You know, our identity is corn, beans, and chili. Those are the 3 ingredients that define our cuisine. So in Marea, which is the restaurant that made La Barra de Lado born, it's that here we like to promote our Mexican destilados,
like liquors, like spirits.
Basically spirits.
Yeah.
Yes, tequilas, mezcal, of course, beer.
Sotol, bacanora, posh.
Yes.
No?
And we like this space to be more casual, meaning that you don't have to sit and eat if you don't want to. You sit, you drink, and then you get hungry, and then you eat.
Right.
And so that's the idea, to be more casual. And you can expect, of course, the service of a waiter, because we have a menu, and you can have the whole experience. But also, if you just want to hang out, grab a beer, grab a cup of Mexican wine, and just keep your weight, this is the place to be. And why not? If you drink more than 2, I am sure you will want to stay.
Absolutely. Yes. And also that's a very Mexican thing to do, right? To sit down at a table, be with the persons that you love, talk. We love to sit down and talk.
Yes.
Right?
I think it's a very Latin thing to do.
Right.
Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Mexicans, of course. We love to be with friends, family.
Hang out.
Eat, family style food. It's not only for family, it's also with friends. Have a dish, enjoy with friends, a couple of different plates, and, have
Enjoy.
a couple of drinks and just be happy.
Yeah. And you've been 30 years now in this business, which is a lot. It is almost like a miracle. You've survived.
33, yes.
33 years.
The age of Christ, yes.
Yes, we have survived.
And
it has not been easy.
I mean, but to get to this point,
Yes.
to get to having something on the table, this means that you've been throughout, a lot. Talking to the producers.
Yes.
How does that work for you?
Well, that's our spirit. For us, it's very important, the ingredient. Not only in food, but also in the spirits, because we know that if we have the best ingredient, and if we are conscious of what we are eating, not only because it's good for our body, because it's also we want to show what Mexico wants wants you to know, you know. It's like, let's say this dish. This is a smoked trout with lebne, you know. So here we work with small producers. Everything is artisanal, homemade, of course. And like, let's say this trout is from Michoacan. It's sustainable because it's from aquaculture. We know that traceability, and we season it or condiment it with, we have the capers, we have the green tomato. Green tomato is from the milpa, you know, very, very Mexican. So we have this contemporary style of mixing from the things from our land, but also the lebne, which is a probiotic like the kefir, you know, that will be good for you. You can enjoy it and then balance with the liquor, with other things. And here you see the bread, which is more from the mestizaje,
the mixture, the mix of Europe and Latin America or Mexico. No?
But we also have tacos, you know. We have, as I told you, the identity,
tortas.
the tortas, the identity of corn, beans, and chili. So it depends on what you want to experience. But we have tradition and contemporary, always looking at the traceability and how we will be sustainable by respecting the planet, by having a social responsibility that will be good for the things that surround us, and always have this fair trade that is very important because we want this to be sustainable. That's why we have 33 years in the business.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how hard has it been for you having this success, having 4 now restaurants, and being also very responsible with the society that is producing each and every single ingredient that you have?
I think it's been a journey. It's been very different every year. After 33 years, we've been on the top, on the bottom. We've had successes, we've had failures, and we learn. We as human beings learn from success and from failure. And I think that makes you stronger, that makes you wiser. And today, with all the things that are happening, I think chefs and gastronomy is based and focused on traceability, on farm to table, chef's table. You know, you want to know what you're eating and where the produce that you're eating is coming from. And also the fair trade, you know, because being so international, and you know, you can buy anything you want now. And it's very accessible through the media, and also because now you can buy Mexican produce in Japan and Japanese produce in Mexico and whatever. But that also makes you wonder, what are you buying or where are you buying it from? And is it coming from like fair trade sources?
So the relationship we have with our suppliers are as important as our clients and as our staff, because it's a circle, you know. It's not that the chef or the owner is more important than the supplier, the staff, or the client, which is also the most important.
It's become a philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, we exist because we have the client, but at the same time, the client comes because we have the food, the spirits, the people, you know. So it's
the stories
this chain
to tell, no?
that we value, and we give the value to everybody. And these relationships that we have with our suppliers is main, because also they bring us their best,
Right.
you know, and we want to show our best.
One thing that I was amazed while we were at Cascabel is how simple it looks, how tasty it is, and also like I was amazed how it represents what we actually are. We are like very honest, like very upfront. Like I remember tasting just one cookie that came with the coffee, and that cookie was so delicious.
It's so difficult. It's so
tasteful.
difficult to make.
Yeah.
But in the practice, no.
Simplicity. I mean, this is a phrase for Lula.
Yeah.
Less is more.
Less
Lula's
is more.
philosophy is less is more. I think that with time, experience, age, comes a simplicity that you will admire and you appreciate in life. So now that we have 33 years of experience, Lula, as a chef, has really represented and come to land and to like amass the whole tradition of Mexican cuisine, and she represents it in a very simple, majestic, and very savory way.
it's it comes from the heart. It's honest, you know, because more than being that ambitious about having that money and then you don't have the time to spend it, it's more about a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Of course, we enjoy. We like to have a good time. What we are, it's what we want to deliver to our clients, you know.
Yeah.
But it comes from the soul, and we just keep going every day and agarrando, you know, embracing every day, every moment, every different experience. And also what we wanted, like let's say La Barra de Lado, where we are right now, when we found out that we had, that this space was available and we took it next to Marea, that's why it's called La Barra de Lado, because it's the bar next to Marea,
Exactly.
you know. We didn't want it to be one more wine bar, because we love wine bars, we love wine, but we wanted not to be different, not just only because we wanted to be different. It's because we are Mexican. We wanted to have this Mexican identity. So if you see the bar, tell them about the bar. Where did you get it? How did you find it?
I think it's very interesting, and we could be talking forever with this theme and whatever. But being so many years involved in Mexican kitchen, Mexican restaurant owning, you know, as entrepreneurs and whatever, it makes us very aware of the difference that when we opened our first restaurant 33 years ago, and what has changed 33 years after is a total change. Nobody opened in 1984 a Mexican restaurant. They were all fondas. There were no chef schools. 1984. Then they started opening chef schools, and everybody wanted to learn, you know, the Spanish way of cooking, Ferran Adrià, and all that lab, very influenced molecular cuisine. And nobody wanted to learn Mexican techniques and Mexican kitchen and cuisine. Nobody.
That was considered, you know, like very popular, right?
Yeah, there was no interest.
That's fondita.
Thank
Exactly.
God, all of a sudden, and many international chefs had to do with it, schools and alumni started to be interested in their own roots, and they wanted to learn Mexican cuisine, Mexican techniques.
In a professional way.
In a professional way. And everything changed. So the thing that Lula is saying, that today we opened this bar, La Barra de Lado, it looks very international. People that enter say it's very Spanish, it's very Portuguese, but actually it's very Hacienda Mexicana. The
From
bar,
El Virreinato.
the wooden
piece.
bar, the piece is from Hacienda. It's original from Hacienda,
antique.
from the northern mountains of Veracruz. So it's antique, and it's original from Hacienda. So, but Mexico is very influenced, and it comes from Spanish influence, but we land in a Hacienda style, no? It's not a palace, it's not a chateau, you know, it's a Hacienda.
Yes.
But it has a little thing of a very Spanish European thing. So this is what La Barra de Al Lado is. It's Lula, Nico, it's Mexico, not forgetting the heritage of Europe, but respecting and basically making Mexican food. But also I think that Mexican food is now being very recognized, respected, the techniques. But also we have to ask ourselves, where is this going, and where are we gonna end for Mexican food? Because now tacos, okay, wow, mole, you know, all the basics. But okay, what is gonna be the evolution of Mexican gastronomy with all the young talent that are learning the basic techniques, but where are we going to take it? So Lula, with 35 years of experience of cooking and whatever, is actually making her own proposal, her own, menu of Mexican cuisine, but with international flavors. And it's got nothing wrong to do with it. I mean, she already,
On the contrary, right?
on the
Like,
contrary,
We
it's
call
evolution. It's
we
evolution.
call it modern Mexican, That's evolution, modern Mexican. This new Mexican proposal in the dishes, which mixes a lot of cultures, but coming from the origin and going through the evolution. Once you know, and you know well the origin, it will be sustainable. That's also why we like to put the ingredients with this traceability and with this knowledge, not only of identity, because we want to grow and be this modern Mexican.
I love this. I was just seeing a video of this person that was saying that food in Mexico and the Mexican cuisine has been gentrified. And now it's something that only few
I
of
totally
us
agree.
enjoy. But I was thinking like,
But there's
it's
nothing
pretty
wrong with
much-
it. There's
but-
nothing
But
wrong
at
with
the same
it.
time, pretty much it always has been like that, right?
Completely.
Like
It has always been like
moles
that.
didn't they weren't born in they were made for kings and for emperors, and then they were for
It
nuns,
has
and then
always been like that. Yeah.
it's pretty much
That's
history of
something
it,
that
right?
I argue or discuss or talk a lot about. That being Mexico City gentrified and Mexican cuisine and tacos and everything gentrified. Okay, should salsas be spicy or not? Should they be picantes? Should they be too spicy or not? For a Mexican, the answer is yes. But for a person that is not accustomed to eating that much spice,
It's gonna kill you.
it's gonna kill your palate,
Yeah.
and then you're not gonna be able
To taste anything.
to taste anything. So I think that if we want to make Mexican food and Mexican gastronomy and techniques
For
and everything
everybody.
for everybody, you have to introduce them with basics. I mean, if you go to
You don't lose-
Asia, you start with very sweet and basic curries. You don't
Right.
start with the most spicy and curry. I mean, for us Mexicans we can, but I mean, usually you start with less and you start growing. No, wasabi for Japanese. I mean, you have to learn to or the French or German mustard. It's almost like a wasabi, like horseradish and stuff. So I think Mexican cuisine, we have to relax, chill, and there's nothing wrong with making salsas that are not as spicy as Mexicans like them. But yes, that's gentrifying. And there's nothing wrong.
It's part of an evolution.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
It depends on how you see it, no?
If you
So
want
it's
the
part of
world
an
to get
evolution.
to know your cuisine, teach them step by step.
Which is pretty much what you do with the whole experience, not just with the dishes, right? Like, for instance, this has tomato. Like, if you know the story of tomatoes, then you understand that what you're eating, right? It's very Mexican in the base of the flavor.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. And that's what we want also to do. Do the storytelling,
Right.
That's important too.
I love that. And I also love the fact that when I was reading about La Barra de Lado, that you're very aware of the neighborhood and
That's
being part of
something-
this ecosystem.
Yeah.
And not being something that I used to live here in La Roma, and I used to hate the restaurant that was below me.
We
Hate it.
closed at 11 more or less.
Okay?
Between 10 and 11, not more than 11,
Okay.
because we respect our neighbors.
Right.
Yes. So that's very important too. And we, of course, don't want to be loud. And if people are happy, welcome, but be happy inside,
Right.
Don't disturb the neighbors.
We want to be good neighbors.
Yeah.
We want to be good neighbors, and we want to be your neighborhood bar, but
Exactly.
being very respectful of the space and of the traditions. And we don't want to be like conquerors coming to conquer a space, because I live in La Roma, so I'm a neighbor. So
So we know how that feels like.
And with 33 years of experience, We have been shut down by the local authorities because we have had
Right.
places that have been too loud. We have not been very good neighbors. So now,
We have
years-
to do as we say,
Yes.
Right.
be congruent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen how Mexican gastronomy has changed in a lot of ways, but you also have changed. You were saying that you started with Asian, with Italian restaurants.
Yes.
What was that turning point for you to say, let's get away from this and let's go back to our Mexican cuisine?
I have it clearly. My maestros, I remember I came back from a trip to Chiapas, the southern part of Mexico, southeast, and I talked to my maestro, which is
Your
already
mentors, yeah.
my mentor, which he's in heaven, and I called him and I said, Maestro, I am more in love with our Mexico than ever. And he told me, you can only get in love when you know it. Solo se ama lo que se conoce. So when you get to know your country and your surrounding, your people, your identity, you cannot do anything but love it. So that's my turning point, to really know my country. That's what makes me love it.
And then you become proud.
Right.
Yes.
But you were already running a restaurant.
Yes, but we always look at the neighbor's garden, and always the neighbor garden is more
Greener.
beautiful.
It's greener,
You know? So when we looked at Europe, we looked at the United States, Asia, and when we started to look in our country, because you have it, sometimes you just give it for granted.
Exactly.
That's when everything came to place.
And then you decided, I'm gonna open Cascabel? Was
Yes.
the first one? Okay.
Cascabel was before, and then this Marea and La Barra de Lado.
And also, when I was in Cascabel, I love that wall that you have on the back,
De Betsabe Romero?
the Betsabe Romero.
Yes.
And I also see here that, like,
Cascabel and other places are full of art.
yeah,
It's like a temple.
it is.
Lula can tell you about
Beautiful.
Cascabel because all our dishes in Cascabel are made by a very important Mexican
Ceramist.
ceramist. Tell them about the art. Of,
Yeah, in Cascabel, the ceramic that receives you is from Adriana Diaz de Cosío, which is an artist. We also have the furniture, which is from La Metropolitana, which was part of the pop-up that made René Redzepi in
In
Noma
Tulum.
Tulum, you know. And we have this art in the wall that is from Betsabe Romero, which I have the honor to be. We are friends, you know. So once that we were thinking about putting something for the Day of the Dead celebration, she gave me these pendants, these pieces of cloth that was part of an installation that she did for the Tate Modern in London.
In London.
Uh-huh. And she just said, let's see how it works. And it worked beautifully. So she donated to us. And she's like
It's
our...
the road to Mictlan, no? To
The road of the dead to Mictlan. Mictlan
Mictlan.
is where
The
the
dead,
dead,
you know,
go
yeah.
in ancient times, you know? So yeah, it's a piece of art of her.
It's it's in the middle of like our corporate like part of the city,
It's an oasis.
and in the middle of that you have like this beautiful restaurant. The colors, it has like a red vibrant color, and food is amazing. So you're in the middle of this like very unpersonal place, and then you're like in Mexico, and you're like back at home, back with your family.
Surrounded by
Beautiful.
green.
Exactly. So
Like, no?
go to Cascabel. It's a beautiful experience.
And that was Nico. Nico, that color that you said, he was the one who found it. We call it Cascabel, that
Yeah.
color. The Pantone. Nico is a great interior designer. So he's the responsible
tell.
in the interiors.
I enjoy it.
Yes.
And
We
I
can tell
pretty
it's
much enjoy
beautiful.
doing that.
Yes.
Yes.
And you're about to open
Yes.
a new restaurant,
Yes,
Pelota Mestiza.
that's it.
Okay.
Well, this is a new adventure, which is in this emblematic space in front of El Monumento a la Revolución, in the Fronton, Mexico, which used to be the Hayalay. So there they came with this musical theater
See, there's a musical from
from called Malinche,
Okay.
from Nacho Cano, this musician.
musician from
musician.
Mecano.
Yes.
He had a previous a musical called Hoy No Me Puedo Levantar, and now he has Malinche,
Yes.
and it's a space that they want to have a very Mexican
Heritage,
and they looked
identity,
for Lula, and
menu.
she's going to talk about the project of a
Yes.
restaurant
Yes.
called Pelota Mestiza in the Malinche musical.
Exactly. Pelota because it's in the Hayalay, and Mestiza because it talks about how this mix between the Spanish culture and the indigenous culture that lived before became this culture that who we are right now. These Mexicans.
Yes, it's
Came because of
mixture
that.
of nationalities.
Yes.
And
Yes, so that's a new adventure, Pelota Mestiza, and we will expect you there. We have, of course, these same concepts about traceability, about the responsibility with the environment, the fair trade, but the menu, of course, will be different because it will talk about how this mestizaje, this mix,
The blend of
The blend.
Spain.
from that time, you know, has been so fortunate because it's who we are right now. But it's also about this modern Mexican that we're talking because there we will invite other chefs, Mexican chefs, of course, and we will make collaborations as we do here too, because collaborations are very important in order to evolve. And we are doing that also. So we will have a new space there. So for you to come and see.
we love to be there. And a final question, and I know that probably half of our audience right now would be like, "Ah, they're gonna talk about feminism," but I wanted to ask you because I think that like these rock star chefs that we have here in Mexico, the majority of them are men. And in Mexico, our culinary tradition, we've talked before, we learn it from women.
Yes.
So how it was for you to be like in this very masculine environment and to have like the success that you have right now?
Well, thank you. I think that when you are really passionate about what you do, you are respectful with everybody, and you show that you are committed and that you are taking things seriously. You don't give anything from granted. You start getting respect. And with time, things grow, and then you realize that you are in front of the leadership and you are the one that takes the responsibility because you have a team on the back, but you are the leader. And then you show that they can trust women, women. So, and also sometimes it's difficult that if you have a staff that are not used to listen to the orders of a woman, that's the most challenging thing.
I've never thought about that.
No, that's the most challenging thing. But if you put yourself and you have empathy and you put yourself in them and they see that you have this empathy, then they support you and they listen to your orders. That's the game changer.
I think it's also that time has changed, times have changed. And feminism, like everything in the world, has its good and its bad. But I think that all this talking about women and empowering women and minorities has helped in many ways, has given recognition and the place that women and minorities deserve and have always been there and have always deserved. But now it's being recognized and accepted. So I think that the times and the change of times has something good, and some things are good and some things are not so good. But feminism moderately is very good. I mean, women have been fighting for something that they didn't even have to fight for, but they had to fight for.
Yeah, basic rights.
Basic
rights, no?
That's it.
So now things come into place and they start getting recognized. And they started getting recognized for something that they have done forever.
But also we have been giving visibility to each other. It's like if I have my friend who is a chef too, and I see that she needs visibility, then we empower
Sorority.
Sorority, exactly, and we are aware of that. So it's awareness.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being with us. For whoever's gonna be coming very soon to La Barra de Lado, what is like the must try thing that they have to taste of the menu?
Lula's gonna tell us.
It's a very difficult question to answer. It depends on what you're craving. No, but
Tortas, no?
yeah, the tortas, because well, it depends. This is like to share a torta, which is more like a panini. You can say, how do you say, like a sandwich, you know, which is more individual. But we have three, and one is steak tartare torta, but Mexican style from Michoacán, which is carne apache. We call that. And then we have the sardinas, the torta de sardinas with avocado and pico de gallo, you know, and the bacalao, which is
Cod.
The cod, which is traditional from Christmas time, but we can find this cod all the year. So we want to make it all the year because we love having that torta all the time. So the tortas are the main that I will recommend.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for this conversation. And I'm very proud of Lula, my sister. I've been in all the journey. And as you say, women were not very easily given the place. So now it's her time to shine. She has always shined, but now it's her time to shine. And I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you. He's 1 year older than me.
Yeah.
Sometimes they think we are twins, you know, because we have been like this, Nico and Lula, forever. But thank you, and we will expect you here in La Barra de Lado.
Yeah.
We want to take care of you.